Welcome back. We continue with the debate about counties and those people who want elective posts. This morning we have the privilege of having women from Laikipia. These three women want to be representatives of that county. From the extreme left there is Jane Putunoi, and the middle is Virginia Wambui, and next to me is Jane Kagiri. May I ask you to maybe briefly introduce yourself and tell us why you think you shouldn't be a women representative for Laikipia County. Start with you, Jane Putunoi.
Okay, thank you, Mutagi. And this is, I thank you for the opportunity. My name is Jane Putunoi. I come from Laikipia, from a constituency called Laikipia North Constituency. I am married with 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. And before I joined into this arena of politics, I used to work with the Ministry of Public Health and Sanitation, and I have worked there for 14 years. And I have worked in different capacities. I have been in charge of different health centers in the country. And 6 years ago, I was in charge of measles surveillance in the country. I was the measles focal point person for 6 years. Just until last year when I resigned, when I saw this opportunity coming, and I said that let me come out and show my leadership, because I have come from, I would say, marginalized community. Okay. And to have been able to reach this position that is working at the national level, I found myself very capable, and I just said, well, this is now an opportunity for me to give back to my community where I come from.
Thank you very much. Virginia?
Thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Thank you for the opportunity as well, because it's timely. My name is Virginia Wambui Derito, also married with 4 children, 1 girl, 3 boys. I'm born and schooled in Laikipia County. I went to Oljabet Primary School for my primary. For my O-level, I went to Kapropita Girls. For my A-level, I went to Jojo Girls, which is also in Laikipia. And then I went for my diploma course. But before I went for diploma course in Siriba, Maseno, I started a school in Laikipia, Jorua, which is known as Jorua High School, before I went to college. And probably to this point, it's a preparation to my aspiration, because at that age I was young and I had not gone to college, but I was able to bring it up for 3 years, and now it's a big school. Then I went to Siriba, like I had said earlier, until, after Siriba College, I was posted in Ngarua, in a school known as Olngarua Secondary School. After 7 years of teaching in that place, I went to Gatel Girls, where I taught for a number of about over 6 years again, when I joined Kenyatta University for the school for continuing education and got my degree in Kenyatta University, where I was taken back to Gatero. I have been there until when I stopped teaching to join my family business, which was set up at Githurai 45. And then my children, having been in school and being in candidate years, I also stopped the business to look after my children. It's this time that I interacted with people, and especially my people in Laikipia, because I went back home and I started looking after my children, catering for them. I interacted so much with the poor, the women especially, and every time they were crying for help. They wanted to take their children to school, but they did not know how. They didn't have school fees, and they would all come to my place so that I would give them job, so that by the end of the day they would have something to take to the school. I took about 9 students whom I would pay for them, or I would go to the extent of going to those secondary schools and asking the principals to let them just continue until I got money from my farming, and I would pay for them. So this interaction, I got so involved with the poor so much, such that when this opportunity came, there was even a time we have a small piece of land that I tried to settle some of them, those that had no place to stay. I settled like about 11 families. So when this opportunity came, it's when I thought and I sat and said, okay, I'm able to just help a few people, just a few parents to take their children to school, just a few families to settle. But when I get this opportunity, then I'll be able to at least accommodate so many, or rather help them.
Thank you very much. Let's say about Jane Kagiri, what's her background?
Thank you, Mutegi. My name is Jane Wangeshi Kagiri from the great county of Laikipia. My qualifications are in Bachelor's of Computer Science. I've done public relations and advertising, and I've also done international business management. Why I always tend to start with my qualifications, because it's a gift that was given to me by Laikipia County, because I was done for Harambe to go to school, and that is how I acquired my education. After acquiring my education and throughout my studies, I kept wondering what happens to poor children from poor families who their parents call on to people, and the people may be unable to reach out to them and assist. However, for me, I was fortunate, and so when I went through my education, I knew that immediately I completed my studies, I would have to give back to my community. And when this opportunity arose, I realized that is the time I would take it up and serve the people of Laikipia County. I base my vision on 3 things for the county of Laikipia. And my vision, I call it the 3 E's, which is education, equality, and economic empowerment. I believe as we progress, I'll keep diverging further into it. And let me also state that I'm a mother to many, because after what was done for me, I serve the whole community. Yes.
You didn't say whether you're married or not?
I'm single by status. However, in God's good time, which I hope is next year, I will settle into marriage.
Oh,
yes. Yes.
What? Let's go to basic things about the challenges that are there in Laikipia.
Yes.
What do you see as the main problem that the county has that you deal with when you become a member of parliament?
Yes. I started by saying that I am a voice of the voiceless. And when I talk like that, I mean marginalization. When I see children do not go to school, that is marginalization. When a mother is not able to deliver in a quality health center, that is marginalization. When I see high rate of unemployment among the youth, that is marginalization. But then I ask, what is the cause of all these problems? So, and that is the whole problem, not only in Laikipia County, but the whole country. Because everybody talks about poor quality healthcare, poor education, unemployment of the youth. So those are the challenges which I see that need to be tackled at the county level. Now that we are going to the county government, I see this is now an opportunity to look into those issues, because when, for example, you know in the statistics that 400, for example, in terms of health, education sector, 400,000 children who are completing primary schools do not gain access to secondary school. And what is the reason behind it? That is now nationally. Same thing to our county. There are those ones who cannot gain access to education. They cannot, either because they are poor, they cannot afford the school fees, secondary school fees, because it is not free. So when they complete primary school, which is free, they cannot now be able to gain access to secondary school. That is, we are marginalized because of the policies. Now, those 400...
Who has marginalized you?
nobody. I'm just saying that marginalization.
If Laikipia does not have secondary schools, therefore.
Yes, that is now the kind of marginalization. Yes, that is the
whose problem is that?
No, it is not of the problem. Who I'm blaming is the policy. Yeah, because if free primary education is there, then they should have even made secondary school access be available to the poor. Okay, I was saying about 400,000 children not be able to access education. So what happens to those children who cannot gain access? So they end up getting into, bad groups, Moranism, cattle rustling, engage in crimes, engage in drugs. So the kind of marginalization I'm talking about, it's marginalization of poverty.
My question was, what do you do? We know the problem.
Yes.
How do you sort? And maybe you can tell us. We know those problems. How do you plan to sort them out?
Probably by raising up the living standards of everyone in Laikipia. And
how do you do that?
By improving agricultural activities. In Laikipia, we have the pastoralists and crop-growing farmers. So if we would improve on agriculture, because the whole county is agricultural, then you'll be in a position to raise up the living standards of everyone in that place, such that we are able to educate our children, we are able to put up schools, to put polytechnics for them that don't hit the mark to either go to the university or to secondary schools. We are able to even improve our living standards in this way. Probably insecurity would be a thing of the past, now that everybody will be in a position to at least put food on the table. If you look at Laikipia at the moment, so many of us, or so many of the people around there, are below the poverty line. So if we'll do things, or we'll be able to engage ourselves into activities that will bring everyone above the poverty line.
So what do you do as a member of parliament?
Yeah, I would make sure that we empower both gender, the youth, the woman, and the man, by giving them opportunities in education sector, in owning land for use, not for ownership, whereby we are able to use it, to use land, whether we own it or not, but that everybody is able to access some place to use economically. We would also be able to put away with the insecurity that is so rampant in our area by just improving the living standard. Okay, probably what I would really want to do for the county is to make sure that everyone is empowered.
And you, Jane, what do you think are the challenges, and how do you plan to deal with them once you become a member of parliament?
Mutegi, let me say, on basing my vision, I had gone around Laikipia and realized what the problems are. And when I said about the 3 E's, that is education, equality, and economic empowerment. Yeah. In education, what I'm talking about is, in Laikipia County, we have 93% enrollment in primary schools. However, when it goes to secondary schools, it moves to 67%. The one problem we have in our county is that the schools are so far apart from each other. So, and Laikipia being a very vast county, it means that the children give up when they go to secondary schools. They don't want to move for very long distances. So the first thing I'll be working to do is to ensure that we increase our number of boarding schools in Laikipia County. The number 2 thing, I have been calling upon our university students and anybody who is in a profession to start talking to our students. Because what also happens is that in Laikipia County, we have a lot of horticultural farms. And these students end up thinking this is an easier way to get an income rather than keep going to school in their secondary education. The third thing, in Laikipia County, we have a population of 400,000 people. In this population, 80,000 is unskilled youth, people who went up to Form 4 and nowhere else. I look at the polytechnics we have 4 polytechnics. But looking at 4 polytechnics, there is no polytechnic that can hold 20,000 youth at any given time. So what I look out to is that the current leaders we have worked to ensure that our secondary schools have moved from 40 to 96. Now we need to move these polytechnics from 4 to 10 or even up to 20, where that everybody completing their Form 4 has a place where they can go to. That is what I look forward to doing in education. In terms of equality, we have talked about our children failing to go to school because of their parents lacking school fees. The one thing I plan to do is, you look at a county like Laikipia, in the previous year, that is last year, 2011, we topped in the whole country in the amount of beef that was sold, totaling to a turnover of 840 million. I look at the people of Laikipia County. I don't have that money and they don't have that money. Somebody has that money, and the person is the ranchers. How come the ranchers outdo us? The difference is that the rancher has a veterinary officer in his compound, his cattle dip is organized, he has holding areas, he has quarantine areas, such that his meat can meet international standards. When we look at us, the people of Laikipia, our cattle dips have run down. We only have 2 public abattoirs, such that these people, even if they wanted to compete, they cannot compete with these people. So the other thing I look out to is to improve these standards, to ensure that these people can also get to compete at the same level, whereby we improve our cattle dips, increase the number of veterinary officers we have that in that area, and also ensure that these people are well guided and our holding grounds are returned back to us.
Somebody called Mrs. Kagishu. I think she knows you. She says, congratulations, Jen Kagiri. Once you take you to Parliament, will you empower those women with the disabilities in getting funds from the government?
Yes, I will do that. And in fact, that was another issue I was about to raise, where I think to some level our leaders are failing us. Because like in the year 2008, a Special Protections Act was passed, whereby the people in the elderly, 65 years and above, are supposed to receive a stipend of 2,000 per month. Any disabled person is supposed to do that. And when I travel around Laikipia County, what worries me is going to a house where you find a mother taking care of her mentally challenged kid who is also physically challenged. That means this person cannot leave the house. That is where that stipend had been put to ensure that these people actually get an income. What astonishes me is that when you go to the government records, this money is being disbursed. But actually, who is it being disbursed to? So those are some of the issues I will be following up with. I have tried to raise the issue with the ministry, and still I'm seeing nothing being done. And that is why we need to get to the policy-making level, where you can be at the level where you can question in Parliament and ask what is actually happening to our people.
Let me go back to Jane again and ask you about, first of all, you said you were from marginalized community.
Yes.
How do you, if you are a minority, and elections is about numbers,
Yes.
how do you intend to get, if you're from a small group, to get elected by the bigger group? That's one thing.
Yes.
2, there has been clashes in Laikipia between the pastoralists and the sedentary farmers. How do you intend to sort out that?
When I was talking about marginalization, I didn't go by meaning ethnic marginalization.
Okay.
I don't take myself as a marginalized in terms of my ethnic, where I come from, because Laikipia is a cosmopolitan county. And if I base myself, like I come from a marginalized or a small minority group, then I'll not even have vie.
Yeah.
But I have the belief that what the people of Laikipia want is to see good leadership. They don't look at you like you're a Maasai, you're a Turkana, you're a Kikuyu, because I have interacted with them. So for me, that one did not put me down, because I have interacted. In fact, even the other name I have, because now, you know, when I'm going around the county, I have interacted with these people, and they are the best people I have seen, because I have not even seen any kind of marginalization which makes me, demotivate me from vying for that position, thinking that I will not be voted in by the Kikuyu, by the Samburu, by the Turkana. So for me, that one has not put me down. But in terms of security, you have said about people fighting.
Yes.
Do you know, Laikipia was the only county, a cosmopolitan county, that never fought during the 2007 election. They never fought. And if they fought, minimal.
I was thinking about pastoralists. Yes. And is there not conflict of resources?
Yes.
In terms of water resources?
Yes. Yes.
In terms of pasture?
And that is what I was saying, Mutegi, that marginalization, it comes in form of poverty. When a young man and energetic man, young person, is not being able to access education, has not been able to access, is not employed. So the next thing he will think about is getting into crimes. And that is, they fight because each one would want to survive in one way or another. That is why there are those gangs, like, crimes, high rate of insecurity. Like, if you go to pastoralist communities, we have cattle rustling. That is what we have in form of crimes. When you come to this other side, we have, young people engaging in drugs and maybe thuggery. So for me, I look at like all this is because of poverty, high level of poverty, and when we are able to address the issues of poverty at the county level, that is the only time now we are able to be able to finish even the issues of insecurity. And I didn't finish my earlier question, because now that we are going to the county level, my focus, I am not going to work in isolation. I'm just looking at the county government now, which is being developed. All the services are going to be developed. So my approach in terms of even addressing the issues of education, addressing the issues of unemployment, addressing the issues of health, we should be focused as leaders. We should be focused in terms of service delivery.
Somebody here is saying, you ladies, tell us how you do things, not what exactly will you do.
Yes.
What the ladies should be telling us is how and not what. We know what.
Yes.
Such as improving agriculture, education. How is what matters. How will you improve agriculture? How will you increase schools? How will you? That's what. Can you tell us?
Okay.
Yes.
By making sure that money allocated for agriculture is taken there and utilized the best way it's supposed to be. Also by empowering the concerned parties, the pastoralists, the other farmers, by educating them and probably employing extension officers, and like Jane had said, putting up for them cattle dips, bringing close facilities like fertilizers with prices affordable for the farmers down there, veterinary services affordable for the pastoralists, and probably when we put up schools, more polytechnics, we should also see to it that the fees is affordable for everyone, for every child, for every parent, so that everyone is able to take their children to school, to either polytechnics or to even the university. In Laikipia, we don't have a university apart from the one Laikipia campus. We would need more because the population is very big. So we would also advocate for a university also to cater for them that are living for.
What do you say about the huge ranches that are in Laikipia, the ones that you said they export a lot of meat, but the people of Laikipia do not benefit? How do you intend to utilize them and maybe integrate them with the rest of the community so that there's a mutual benefit?
Thank you, Mutegi. Let me first start by stating, unknown to the world, Laikipia County is the leading Laikipia County's horticultural produce is the best in the whole world. And that is why we find everybody wanting to settle in Laikipia County. Its climate also favors most people. Let me say, the ranchers are a resource to Laikipia County, and it is up to us to upgrade what we are doing to catch up with them. Because we also want to, rather that when Laikipia is being ranked as being among the leading counties, we get to feature that because of these ranches and the resources that they've brought into Laikipia County. So at the end of the day, we would want to partner with them in improving our county. So let me state that in terms of agriculture, these people, like in terms of the way they are able to produce the agricultural produce from Laikipia County, the one advantage they have is that they have dams in their areas, in their farms, which we do not have. I look at it this way: KHE, Finley's, homegrown, which has now become Finley's, and so many other farms are in Laikipia County because they are producing the produce from there and exporting it every day, where they earn millions and millions of money. I look at the only difference these people have is that they have water and we don't have. To Laikipia County, I say our first agenda should be water. Last weekend, I visited an area in Solio, a location called Rehema, and I was very impressed by a man called Mr. Ngahu. Mr. Ngahu every morning gets up with his 20 drums, goes with his mkokoteni, gets water and comes and waters his cabbages. His cabbages are very beautiful and very well grown. I looked at this man and I wondered, what can we do to assist him? These are people who are already very hardworking and ready to enrich themselves. The only thing they are lacking is the empowerment they need. So to Laikipia, I would say my first agenda will be to ensure every place has water. We look at a household of 100,000 in Laikipia County. Only 20,000 people have access to water, which means it's only a quarter of our population. I believe as leaders we need to upgrade that to ensure everybody is reached by this great resource.
You have a water project by the communities?
Yes,
where
we
the
have
Pablo rivers, water from rivers.
Yes, we have those projects. However, it's still not enough because what happens with Laikipia, people are really dispersely settled. And that is why we even get the conflicts you are asking about, because we have so many absentee landlords in Laikipia. And what happens is when people come to bring in their animals for pasture, you cannot agree on who should actually use the land. And also there's the issue of Moranism, which I believe as leaders is something we need to start engaging and supporting other cultural practices which don't act against each other.
What is wrong with the Moranism? The Maasais are very happy with it.
Yes, they are happy with it. However, if it is offensive to each other, I believe it is something where we can meet in the middle and both agree on a cultural practice that is not offensive to the other community.
How is it offensive?
There is nothing offensive about being a Moran because it's a way of life for those people. And the only thing, because I told you that I'm running a program which is called Center for Maasai Development. And what I'm looking at is incorporating the culture, the positive culture in education. And what we've been able to do is to develop a vocational skills training center for this, because our culture is rich. So, and that is the way of life. And to change a way of life of the people, it takes long. But through education, through motivation, through, you know, counseling, these people will change without letting you think that you're, you're aggressive. So there's nothing wrong with being a Moran. In fact, it's the best culture. But how do we utilize that culture to make it like now, for example, Moranism can even be a source of, you know, tourism. Yes, for our county. If we look at that as a, you know, how to enhance. Like now, I know in Kagiri, you know that our Morans now, the cricket, we have boys, young men, Morans, who have engaged themselves in playing cricket, and it's now being it's being voted the image of the year, just because of that. And now, and they are using that one, the Moranism aspect, to advance themselves economically. So, and then the same thing in terms of education. What I'm trying to say is that our culture, like, you know, there's bidding. And what I'm trying to do in terms of when I'm thinking about empowering that community, I don't start being aggressive, because that is the culture that has brought me up. I was once bidded. But
what is bidding?
Bidding is when a Moran gives you, buys for you, bids, and fill you up to here. And then, now, you're accessible to that man, just like marriage. Yeah. You know, sexually and all that. So,
we are running out of time. Maybe you need to say your last word before you conclude.
Okay. Probably I would
Can you appeal for votes?
Appeal, yeah. Let me just add to what they are saying, probably, before I now conclude. Yeah. Also, because we have youth in our county, so many of them, we would really want, when we get into the office, to ask the government and the county government to leave vacancies in every office where our youth can use their skills so that they can be of use when employment opportunities arise, either in our county or elsewhere in other counties. This is what we call internship, so that at least they have an experience, and that such that they are not lost somewhere in the way. Because there's so many. Okay, lastly,
yes,
I thank our county, the Laikipians, for bringing us this far, and I pray that they are going to see us now during the elections and even after. Thank you.
One, will you ask for the vote?
Yes, Mutegi, let me first correct for fear of being misquoted. I did not actually have anything against the Maasais. What I'm saying is we should actually meet in the middle, where we both appreciate each other. I said I'm getting married next year, so you'll never know. It could be true. So let me humbly appeal to the people of Laikipia County to give me a chance to serve them, because I have gone through problems and I know where we need to correct the situation in Laikipia County. I would not go away without saying Laikipia County 5 years from now will be the leading county in this country. We are so blessed with such vast resources, and it is only up to us to put the right leadership into it. I always say 30 years ago, Kenya was counted among the leading countries. Because of the leadership we got, that's why Kenya is where it is today, and other countries progressed. Similarly, Laikipia County has already been ranked among the leading counties in this country. 5 years from now, dependent on the leaders we put in, Laikipia County could be at the top or somewhere in the middle. However, with good leadership, we are going to get there. Parting short, Laikipia County, we invite the whole of Kenya to visit that county. We have been ranked the leading destination in the world to spot the Big Five. 2 weeks ago, I took my nephews to a place in Laikipia County, and in 2 hours, we managed to spot all the Big Five. And I affirm to that it is the leading destination in the world where you can spot the Big Five. Opportunities are there in tourism. We have the Maasai culture, we have the Mount Kenya view, we have Thompson Falls, we have the Equator. What more would you want to see in a tourist destination? Welcome to Laikipia County.
Thank you very much. I'm getting a lot of good responses here. A lot of people think that you're great. Jane Kagiri, intelligent, articulate, focused. And Jane Putonoi, excellent, competent, and experienced. Putonoi, do you? Oh, good. Very good. May the best candidate win.
Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you.
Stay tuned.